I would ask that all young people please come forward. I'm talking to you today. All young people, teenagers.
Go ahead, go.
Everybody come forward, please. There you are. Come on, get them all out here. Come on. There you go. Thank you so much. My name is Thomas Leahy, and I am a sophomore at Bergen Catholic High School. I, like all of us here, am very concerned with the direction this country is going. With more government spending, a government takeover of health care and the banks, a big government that ignores the will of the people when clearly they should hear it loud and clear, and the most radical administration in American history, it will be very difficult for people of my generation and generations to come to afford a home, health care, a car, college, and just the basics of living. I was invited to speak today about what it's like to be a young conservative. But first, let me just tell you a little about myself. As I said, I am a sophomore at Bergen Catholic High School. At school, we have a daily closed-circuit television program every morning. I host a political segment there, where I inform the student body of what's going on in Washington daily. I also write an article in the school newspaper every month, obviously politically oriented. I am the host of a political blog site where there are good factual arguments every day, where my math teacher, Mr. Marcus, comes on and comments as well. Now, as I said, I'm very conservative. And I go to a Catholic school now, but I went to a public school from the 4th to the 8th grade, and let me tell you, politically, I was out of place. I remember a 7th grade science class. We were learning about weather and the environment, and my 7th grade science teacher, who I'm not going to mention by name, thought it would be a great idea if we watched An Inconvenient Truth by Al Gore. My thoughts exactly. I and only one other member of my class refused to watch the movie, and we were ridiculed mercilessly. After all, it's not science anyway.
Propaganda.
You know, we were ridiculed for being planet murderers, supporting pollution, wanting the polar bears to die off, which is clearly not true. And that pretty much sums up my public school experience. Oh, but wait, then came the 8th grade with the 2008 presidential election. You can only imagine how brutal that was. Now, I tell you all this because the young conservative people my age must not feel threatened or bullied. Stand up for what you believe in.
Yes.
Right. Keeping quiet or feeling ashamed for believing in what you do is exactly what the left wants you to do. They don't want to hear what you have to say because to them any opposition gets in the way of them pushing their radical agenda, and they need to silence you. Do not let them do it. Resist. If a teacher says something about American history that you know is biased and untrue, tell the teacher so, and make sure everyone in that class knows the truth.
Yes.
All right. If a teacher brings up the state budget cuts and mentions Governor Christie and says that he is destroying education in our state, and by the way, God bless Governor Chris Christie. Prove that teacher wrong. Point to California, New York State, or even the European Union and say that budget cuts are necessary and must be done. For years, people have been saying that young people shouldn't question authority and should just keep their opinions to themselves. The heck with that. Get up and make yourselves heard. Those people don't want to be challenged. They want absolute power. They don't want to hear our opinions. If a teacher says something about the FDR New Deal policies during the Great Depression, since public school teachers just love that guy, point out the Depression of 1920, which no public school history textbook will ever cover. I can bet money on that. Say that Calvin Coolidge ended a depression, in many ways was worse than the Great Depression. by cutting taxes and cutting government spending by 65%. Ask your teacher, hey, how come Calvin Coolidge could do that in 9 months, but it took FDR 9 years? The point out is because of conservative economics and tax cuts. Young people today absolutely need to get involved in local, state, and national races, especially our young conservatives here. I have to give the president credit he deserves. He got the young vote out by text messaging, Facebook accounts, and Twitter. We need conservative candidates to do the exact same thing by getting our young people involved in their campaigns. The best way for conservative candidates to do this is to have young conservatives go door to door, hand out flyers at the mall, create a Facebook account for them, or simply raise money, because their future depends on the policies that politician puts forward, and if that politician wins or not. I strongly urge all young conservatives to pay close attention to every election this year, starting with the primaries. Young conservatives today share many of the same values: limited government, low taxes, limited government spending, adherence to the Constitution, and personal responsibility. Out of all of these values, I feel that out of all of these, personal responsibility is the one that's under attack the most. With the passage of the health care bill, for example, I can now stay on my parents' health insurance plan till I'm 26 years old. But then what? Then what do I do? After 26 years of straight dependence, will I be ready to afford my own health insurance plan after the cost it's expected to rise to? I don't think so. If I'm trying to get to college, I now have to go through a big government bureaucracy to get a loan. And if there's anyone here that's ever dealt with government bureaucracy, for example, say the DMV, we all know how difficult that can be. Do today's young people truly have the ability to personally take care of their families when they get older? Children and expenses? Unfortunately, the answer is probably not. I can speak for myself when I say I am genuinely concerned about the effects of government dependency now and the ability down the road for us young people to be self-reliant. It'll take work, of course. It'll be brutal, challenging, and a daunting task to manage your busy and at times confusing adult lives. But it will be rewarding. Tell me, do you feel more accomplished when someone else does something for you, or when you get up and do it yourself? Is it more rewarding to you to get an award for putting forth no effort, or busting yourself to get that award in the first place? Of course, all the other values I mentioned earlier are very important and are clearly under attack by many people in Washington today. But if young people aren't responsible for themselves, then the other issues such as higher taxes and out-of-control government spending on entitlement programs won't really matter much to them. That mentality must be reversed. In conclusion, I leave you with the words of Robert Schaefer, who said, "We must view young people not as empty bottles to be filled, but as candles to be lit." Young conservatives need to be enlightened, motivated, and ready to take back America from the progressive statism that has infected our government. The youth historically are the ones who cause the most change, who bring about new ideas, and who put up the greatest fight when staring right into the face of an oppressive leader. Our youth must be active in political campaigns, fundraising, and elections. They must resist the progressive and socialist agenda of many in the public school system. And they must point out and prove to others what is fact and what is liberal fiction in the classroom. As the entire Tea Party movement moves forward to retake America in the name of the Founding Fathers, the Constitution, the Republic, and most of all the American people, believe me, the conservative youth will be right there with it, marching shoulder to shoulder to defeat the armies of statism. I thank you for my time here today. I hope I have further encouraged our young people to stay motivated and retake America. Thank you so very much. God bless all of you, and God bless the United States of America. Thank you.